Hey guys, and welcome to another lesson brought to you by My HBCU. Today's lesson is going to be about business models, and the issue with business models is illustrated in the diagram below. A lot of university textbooks and lecturers teach business models without actually telling you what a business model is. Now, a business model is basically how a business generates revenue or profit, or in short, how will your business get the cash? Because without that, your business will fail to exist unless you've just got really big pockets and can fund your business for continuous years of losses, which is very unlikely, but anyway. Now, with business models, I want to show you 4 examples. The first example is Odesk. Now, Odesk is an online marketplace that connects small business owners and contractors. For example, if I was going to get a website made, I could go on Odesk and find someone in America or the Philippines or wherever to make my website for me. And as a result, Odesk takes a commission from the transaction because they're able to connect the buyer and the seller efficiently, and so therefore saves time and money for both parties. The issue with this kind of model, which we call a marketplace model, is that it relies on the buyer and the seller being both satisfied, and if one of them isn't satisfied, then the whole model falls over itself. So a lot of these sites have feedback systems as a result and quality assurance programs to try and get the best contractors and also the best clients. Another example is cloud-based accounting software Xero, and this is based in New Zealand where I live. Actually, it's in my city, the home office base thing. And essentially, Xero is software as a service, which means it runs on a subscription model. And because it runs on a subscription model, it has to ensure that clients stay with the company for a very long time because it's a monthly payment. And because it's a subscription, generally the monthly payment is a lot smaller than a one-off payment. The way that Xero does this is by trying to get as much personal information as possible and then making that personal information easy to use as possible so that essentially they won't go anywhere else because it's too much of an effort and therefore will stay with Xero. Another example is Angry Birds. Now, Angry Birds is a game on iPad or your iPhone where essentially you throw birds at these angry pigs and try and knock them over. Now, Angry Birds is an example of a freemium model because the initial offering is free. However, to upgrade the product either to a better quality product or more levels or more lives or an easy chance of winning the game, you have to pay a fee, which we call an in-app purchase. But any freemium model doesn't have to have an in-app purchase. It could be just an upgrade fee or something like that. Now, essentially, this is a really good model and a very popular model because a lot of people don't like buying or spending lots of money on a product which they don't know about yet. Often people who buy Angry Birds buy it or download it because it's free, and they're not really intending to buy anything else, i.e. the upgrades. However, once they've played it for a long enough time, they're more likely to purchase the upgrade, and so therefore the company still makes money, but does it in a more, covert way because it gets them hooked on the game first and then sells them on the upgrades. Instead of charging a flat fee of $5, it makes it $6 or $7 through the upgrades. My final example is Amazon Kindle. Now, Amazon Kindle is a famous e-reader, and you can read books, I think thousands and thousands of books on it. And it's great because it's quite cheap. However, the company doesn't actually make much money at all on the Kindle. In fact, I think it makes a small loss. The reason why it does that is because it wants the end user to spend money on its Kindle marketplace. Because on its Kindle marketplace, that's where users spend a lot of money. So what's happening here is Amazon is basically subsidizing its main hardware product in order to get more soft sales, i.e. the ebooks. Because they know that users are going to be spending a lot more money on ebooks if they have this Kindle device. Another example, actually, Apple, is the reverse. So it makes its iTunes store very cheap. The apps are cheap, $1 or $2 each. The music's cheap, $1 or $2 per song, and the reason why it does that is because that app store drives hardware sales. People can only use that store if they have an iPod or an iPad or an iPhone. So what Apple does is it subsidizes its kind of software or soft sales in order to generate more hardware sales. Now those are 4 or 5 very simple examples that you've seen every day. What I want you to get out of this lesson is to understand basically what a business model is and then being able to identify it in real life. Next time you go to a restaurant or you use a company's services, ask yourself which business model are they using and why are they using that. To come up with a business model, I've got a few questions you can ask yourself. First of all, how are you going to reach your customers? Second of all, how is your product going to be different than others? Third of all, how will you price your product or service? 4, how will you convince customers to part with their precious money? 5, how will you distribute your product? And 6, and most importantly, how will you attract, keep customers and get them to buy more? These are the 6 really important questions whenever you're thinking about a business model. So go out and try it. Go out and use a company's services in the next few days and then think about these 6 questions. How do they do it? Do I do it well? Or maybe they don't do it good at all. By doing that, you'll be able to think about and analyze how business models actually work and get a deeper understanding so you can use it in your future small business. Thank you.